We are back with the second episode of the Big 12 Deep Dive. Today we're going to be focusing a little bit more on Iowa State, going over the prediction for this Saturday. We've got some Twitter bias as well as Taman Lipsy, so we're going to be talking about a little bit of basketball. So let's go ahead and get into that. So, first off, I've been seeing some predictions of this game on Twitter. I'm just going to give you guys a few of them that I've seen. I've seen Cincinnati 32, Iowa State 28, Cincinnati 28, Iowa State 25, and Iowa State 34, Cincinnati 23. Now, I'm not going to lie, that last one shocked me a little bit just because I don't think Iowa State's going to come away with an 11-point win in this game. I mean, they very well could, I guess, depending on how the offense plays, but I just don't see us. If Iowa State wins, and I think we definitely can, I don't see it being by 11 points. And I'm going to keep it 100% honest. I don't see us. I'm not trying to knock on Chase Smith or anything. I'm glad that he got that late field goal against Arizona, but I don't see us trying to kick the ball from 40 yards out. I think if we're at the 30-yard line, if it's a 4th and 5, I think we're going to go for it. So I think it's going to be a pretty rare sight to see Iowa State kick a field goal. That being said, Cincinnati's defense ranks outside of the top 100 in FBS. So I think it would be kind of stupid to not go for it a lot in this game, to be honest. And that's it. Who knows? Maybe we could score. There is a real possibility that Iowa State could score on every single possession they have. Will it happen? Probably not. Could it happen? 100%. It definitely could happen. Not saying it's not going to, but also not saying it's going to happen. The over-under, last time I checked, was 54. I think this is really low, to be honest. That is could be like a 28, 20-something, 26 game or something like that. I think that's pretty low, to be completely honest. I'm not going to get into the gambling side of things, but if you do that kind of thing and you haven't done anything with this game yet, I would 100% take the over if I were you. I think, in my personal opinion, after I just read off the predictions of this, I think that it is going to be a very high-scoring offensive affair. I think with Cincinnati being, as I just stated, outside of the top 100 in defensive rating, I think it's going to be easy for Iowa State to matriculate the ball down the field. Same thing with Cincinnati. I mean, our defense is definitely a lot better. I'm not saying our defense just sucks now because Williams and Cooper are out for sure. But I think, again, Cincinnati likes to throw the deep ball. Well, they're probably going to want to throw the deep ball more when we're out two of our best cornerbacks. 2 All-American cornerbacks, might I add. Going off of that note, where did this go? Starting corners for Iowa State. I saw this on Twitter. I'm guessing, most people can probably assume this is how the lineup is going to be. Quentin Taylor and then Trey Bell will be starting in position for Jeremiah and John Tez. Jeremiah obviously missed last game as well, so we saw Trey Bell get in there a lot more and Quentin Taylor get in there. Sounds like Cummings Coleman is also good to go for Saturday, so I'll be interested to see how much playing time he gets. Benny Ngoyi, I know there's been a lot of rumors about him this whole entire season, basically, because he was, wide receiver, switched to cornerback in the offseason, and supposedly, according to the coaches, has NFL potential at the cornerback position, which is very interesting. I don't know if he played corner in high school or if he just played wide receiver in high school. I'm guessing probably a little bit of both, because that's usually how they do it with high school, is you're, two-sided players. But I'm really interested to see, and I think we're going to find out right away on Saturday within the first or two, either the first possession or the second possession of Cincinnati, what their focus is and what they're trying to do, and also if we can contain them, if we can stop the run, if we can stop the pass, if we can stop the deep shots, if, Trey Bell has to cover everything. Well, that might be a little bit of a problem if we've got to keep, Trey Bell on the field because he's the only one that can cover. Same thing with Quentin Taylor. Is Quentin Taylor going to be the only, guy that can cover everything, or are we going to have to bring Benny Ngoyi or someone else off of the bench that doesn't play a whole lot, are they going to get a lot of playing time? Are they going to be able to cover these fast Cincinnati wide receivers? This is not on my notes, but I just remembered Cincinnati, all three of their main wide receivers that they use are all transfer guys. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, two of them came from Power 4 schools. One of them did not. So these are experienced wide receivers. They've been around the game. They know how to play. So I think that's going to be an insanely important task for Iowa State on Saturday. Well, I forgot to mention this in the last segment, but Rocco and Dominic Orange, it sounds like they are good to go for Saturday. I know on the episode on Tuesday I mentioned I didn't hear anything about Dominic Orange. Kind of forgot about Rocco because I know he went down a little bit, down pretty hard on Saturday's game against Arizona towards the end of the game. That was, right around the time that we had like four guys on back-to-back plays, or back-to-back-to-back-to-back plays that all went down, all got hurt. Dominic Orange was one of them. But it sounds like Rocco and Dom are good to go. So that is a good sign. Anyways, next, we're going to read some Twitter bias that I was kind of just interested to see this a little bit. This Twitter comment, I'm not going to mention who. I kind of hope they don't see this, but it said, Iowa State would have 0 Power 4 wins with Texas or Penn State's schedule and would likely not be nearly as competitive as Texas or Penn State were against Ohio State and Oregon. Here's what I will say about that. I've seen a lot of people with the most recent AP poll come out, and they're talking about, a bunch of last season with Ohio State, because in one of my polls, I actually put Oregon above Ohio State because Oregon walked into Happy Valley, Penn State, and walked out of there with a dub. It was an overtime dub. It was a late victory in overtime, but they still got it done. Texas and Penn State, I'm not saying, I don't think they're bad teams at all. I think they're much deserving teams, more so Penn State to be in the top 10. Texas, I will say, I don't see, yes, they had a close game against Ohio State. Ohio State looks like a way different team. Texas's defense is very good. I think I said that in Tuesday's episode as well. But, I'm not really understanding the whole comparison, because the thing is with Iowa State, these are two completely different schedules. Texas, let's start with Iowa State. Iowa State started in another country. That's number one. Came back and played one of the top FCS schools. Sure, it's FCS. Still FCS. Still see FCS teams put up a good fight. You saw Tarleton State beat up on Army. What did Army do the next week? They beat up on K-State. After we played South Dakota, we had a rivalry game, home game. That's obviously good. I feel like if it would have been at Iowa, we could have lost that game because of the first two games that we just played. And then you go down to Jonesboro, Arkansas, where it is 115 degrees on the field. And you play like crap. Iowa State did not look good in that game at all. But, they looked like a team that just went through that. And that was another comment that I saw on Twitter like 2 or 3 weeks ago, was Iowa State looked like a team that just went over to Ireland, played a rivalry game, and then played in 115-degree weather. So I don't really see those two as super comparable for schedule-wise. I think Iowa State's Texas against Ohio State, obviously, that's a really hard game for either team. Penn State versus Oregon, obviously, that's a really hard game for either team. But you cannot, I don't think you can really compare the two schedules, just because one, you start off in another country, which is obviously going to be hard. The other one, you have one game against one really good team, and that's about it. So that's just my personal opinion. My last little thing that I have today, I just could not believe this when I saw this. I'm not going to talk too much about this, just because not a whole lot needs to be said about this, if I'm going to be completely honest. College Basketball Report on Twitter. If you guys know who they are, follow them. You know that they post rankings of players, rankings of teams, all sorts of different rankings, all sorts of different things on their posts. And I'm not knocking them at all when they're posting this, except for a little bit, because I thought this was absolutely astounding. This was posted yesterday or Tuesday, which I guess could be yesterday, depending on when I post this. Tuesday, College Basketball Report posted a list of the best seniors in college basketball. I'm going to tell you something. Bennett Sturtz was listed higher than Tamin Lipsey. The only thing that I'm going to say about this is, what has Bennett Sturtz done that is better than Tamin Lipsey? Bennett Sturtz has not played a single second yet of Power 4, Power 5, I guess, because Big East, has not played a single second yet of college basketball in the Power 4 conferences. I'm not saying Bennett Sturtz is not good. I think Bennett Sturtz is an elite player. I think he's definitely towards the top of the list, and players definitely towards the top of the list in seniors. 100%. Nobody's questioning that. But I think it is a little bit silly to have Tamin Lipsey being lower than Bennett Sturtz, a guy who hasn't even played Power 4 basketball yet, Power 5 basketball yet. Like, I know I've been talking about football a lot in this episode, but I wanted to touch on that a little bit just because I don't see how you can get that information of having, and like I said, like I'm not knocking Bennett Sturtz at all. Like I just said, I think he's a great player, but I think Tamin Lipsey, when you see what he's done over the last 3 years, how can you put Lipsey underneath Bennett Sturtz? Just how? How can you do that? So that's the last thing I got for you guys today, though. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Comment below your own takes. Comment below your predictions for this Saturday if you're an Iowa State fan. I think I forgot to mention that at the beginning of this video, that this is going to be more of an Iowa State video. Thanks for tuning into the Big 12 Deep Dive. We will be back with more soon, so stay tuned. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Big 12 Deep Dive, the podcast where we break down everything Big 12 football and basketball.